Good morning, Lakia. How are you? I've got your PowerPoint here. I'm going to go through it very quickly. And first off, thank you for turning something in. I think it's always good to have something to react to from my end, and hopefully some notes I can make will help you. So, a couple things. First off, one thing I noticed that the gym, to me, seems like it might want to go like that, and then creates this beautiful space. And when you do your trees, you can kind of do your trees in a way that creates space. Um, so you've kind of got a really nice space along here. So this becomes this great outdoor space, or more like a courtyard. So there's probably some pretty heavy foliage there. Remember, you can use trees like walls and gardens like or not gardens, but you can use landscape as three-dimensional space. Um, and that means now you have your two courtyards. Same thing here. You might want to use that. You might want to think about that, right? And you might want to think about that. So I think making this go that way is actually pretty helpful. And then you still have room for your pond down here, so the rainwater can kind of find its way down into here, which is pretty good. As for this guy right here, the problem here is that if you're doing your bus drop off here, these guys will be able to back in and out, and if that's the case, you don't really need to take that much space. You can just take it right up to the edge. However, what I might consider doing is moving the whole building this way 20 feet and actually putting in maybe a drop off or parking over here for maybe cars are on this side and buses are over here. Maybe it cleans it up a little bit. Now I'm going to go into so site plan. This double courtyard thing is a kind of an interesting idea, and it's kind of interesting to see how you played it out. So the only big change there was rotating that a bit like that, like that. Now, one thing that's interesting here for me, I probably would consider a couple things. I think this is 2 floors, right? So right now you've got a fire stair here, which you could just cut it off like that, by the way. You don't have to take it all the way to the back. And you've got a stair here. What I would consider doing is probably, I'm assuming that's the lobby. This probably wants to get a lot wider here so that there's really a room. Because imagine like in the morning when everybody's coming into school. And what I would consider doing is actually having a really nice stair here that maybe kind of goes up like this to the second floor. Maybe keeping this as a fire stair, but not as a stair for the main stair. The other thing is you want to make sure you have egress out of the building. You don't have any dead ends. And I think that says library. So when you do this next time, make sure I can see the room names a little bit better. This corridor, and this is where we get into like interior design and all. This corridor is kind of a little bit relentless. So what you want to kind of think about doing is where there are like doorways, you want to start to pop out elements where they can have benches and seating. You see like right here, right? These can also be either pop outs for seating or ways to get out. Because you definitely want to create the corridor as a place to have special things happen. And then here you've got the opportunity to do something pretty special. I'm just making a generic shape here, but it's pretty much, I mean, that's going to get you out to your second courtyard, and this is going to get you out to your first courtyard. So think about what people see at the end of the corridors. Think how you can celebrate it. And we talked before about this thing rotating, if you remember. I think that will make a better space out here. And remember to use your trees as elements to define space rather than just sprinkling in there like confetti. Good. On the second floor, I think that I had a stair here. And I think this is just one story. Nurse, music, classroom. So this classroom, we might want to think about that not being a classroom. And mainly because it doesn't have any direct sunlight from the south. So this room might want to be, now I have to go back. Yeah, you have the same problem here. I mean, you can have glass on the inside walls, but that's still not really ideal. So I have to think about that a little bit. So you pretty much put a lot of your specials upstairs. What I would consider doing is maybe moving, maybe this is library. Hmm, not sure what to do there. This looks a little funky. Oh, and you have your cafe on top of the gym. That won't work. Cafe probably needs to be on the first floor next to a kitchen. So what I would consider doing, actually what I would do maybe is I would almost bring the cafe out or the cafeteria out as an element that looks out onto this courtyard, and then I would really strongly define that edge of trees. And maybe I can sneak in a kitchen building. Maybe that's what you need. You need a little kitchen building and loading building that can feed into this cafeteria. And really, the truth of the matter is, you don't really want to put a space on top of a gym because of the double height space, or at least story and a half. So I would consider just letting that be its own expression. See, now this comes out like that, and that comes out like that. Starts to make a little bit of an architectural statement. Not bad though. I think you did a good job developing this scheme. I hope you learned something from those comments. And here you really see where you really want to kind of begin to think about bringing this guy out here to create that space. You've got that space created. And this would be a good time to put your little gateway element in. So that's good. Balconies are interesting. I think the balconies are interesting, but you might want to think about what really happens out here. Rather than doing like a balcony that's all connected, you might want to think about, I don't know, maybe not having it, or remember also that these balconies are blocking light for underneath there, so it's a little bit of a concern. As far as the performative one goes, now of course the idea here is to have a shape that is efficient as possible for south facing. However, when the building gets really deep, you have a problem in that you're not really getting the benefit that you would like. Typically what you want to do is have a single loaded corridor. What that means, let me just draw a little diagram up here. So you have your corridor, and then you tend to want to have your classrooms off of that and nothing on this side. And so what I was thinking you could probably do is do a double building, sort of, now forgetting outdoor play space and such. And so what ends up happening is you have a corridor along back, and then you have your spaces facing along front. So I'm actually not giving you a very good critique here because I don't know why I'm not. Let's see what you got here. So in this scheme though, if you can get a double height space somewhere in the middle here, let me see what you have above it. Oh, that is the second level. So what I would do on the second level is consider doing a series of balconies on the inside, forgetting your bathrooms for a minute, so people could look down into the space here. So get rid of those bathrooms, and what you'll probably have to do is forgetting that other idea of the double building, you'll probably have to make your building a little longer. And try, oh look, so you have a corridor here. That corridor can move out to here, and this is open to below, which means that when you're in this space, you can see up above you and into maybe a beautiful clear story. So in section, I'm going back to just the way the building is now. You've got this and this. You've got that. You've got this. You've got classrooms, that, and you've got classrooms like that, right? And then you have the opportunity to do clear stories. Remember, we don't do skylights unless you really have to. Okay, so what's going to happen is light's going to come in like that and go down to whatever side you're on. And you're going to have this really glorious space. You could put some nice plants and trees in here, really make this like an indoor-outdoor space, which would actually be very efficient from a performative standpoint because you're getting light from two sides now, right? You're getting borrowed light here, and you're getting direct light on that side. So I think there's some potential with this if you open it up a bit and allow some double height spaces to occur. Now you have this guy. What I would think about doing here is probably a row of clear stories like that, and then a roof that kind of comes out flat like this maybe. I'm not quite sure. You know, and maybe you have some of those solitubes that can kind of look down into there. Not bad though. Well, now I'm confused. Oh, that's not your building. So same idea here though. So this is what would be. This building looks not too exciting. Oh, I see. You only have one story on that side. Why wouldn't you flip that then and have the one story on the south side so that more light can get in? Yeah, so, or this is a big playground, green roof. Not sure. Got to think about this one a little bit more. Okay, so hopefully this is helpful to you, and I look forward to seeing more of your work. Oops.